March 18th, 1584. The chess piece falls. A man, once the most feared in all of Europe, gasps for air, clawing at his throat. A death that would be recorded as natural causes, a stroke while playing chess. But in the shadows of the Kremlin, something far darker unfolded. The world would be told that Ivan the Terrible died of old age and illness. But the truth was far more sinister. Behind the grand facade of royal power, a deadly conspiracy simmered, waiting for the right moment. In the final days of his life, Ivan wasn't just dying, he was transforming. And it was that transformation that sealed his fate. What really happened that fateful night remains one of history's most chilling mysteries. Ivan the Terrible, once a man of immense power and fear, had deteriorated by March 1584. Witnesses described a man whose body had become grotesquely swollen, and whose once sharp mind had unraveled. His posture had twisted, his movements slow and labored, and his health had completely betrayed him. Ivan, now 53, was no longer the calculated ruler who once struck fear in his enemies. Instead, he had become a puppet of his own crumbling body and mind. The terrifying Tsar, known for his cruelty, was reduced to a fragile figure, trapped by paranoia and madness. How did this transformation occur, and what happened in his final months to make him the monster he had once feared? To understand Ivan's death, we must go beyond the official story. Jerome Horsey, an English diplomat, was a key witness to the events of that day, and his account cast doubt on the conventional narrative. Horsey wrote a single word that changed everything: strangled. This directly contradicted the claim that Ivan had died from a stroke while playing chess. His note suggests something far more sinister. Was Ivan murdered? Who would benefit from his death, and why was it so carefully covered up? Horsey's account raises more questions than answers. Was Ivan's death the result of an assassination, or was it merely a tragic end for a tyrant? The truth is far from clear. When Soviet scientists opened Ivan's tomb in 1963, they found evidence that shocked the world. His bones revealed high mercury levels, far above what would be expected from natural causes. Along with mercury, traces of arsenic were found, suggesting that Ivan's death had been caused by slow, deliberate poisoning. Mercury was historically used to treat syphilis, a disease Ivan likely had. But the levels found in his body indicated something darker. This wasn't just the ravages of disease. It was poisoning with the intention of causing mental and physical decay. Was this a form of mercy? Or was it part of a calculated move by those close to him to hasten his end? One of the key events that pushed Ivan into madness came on November 16, 1581. In a fit of rage, Ivan attacked his pregnant daughter-in-law, causing her to miscarry. But the horror didn't stop there. His son, Ivan the Younger, rushed to defend his wife, only to be struck by Ivan's iron-tipped staff. The blow caused Ivan the Younger to fall into a coma, and he would linger for days, bleeding from his brain. Ivan's guilt and grief were evident, but the tragedy went deeper. By striking his son, Ivan destroyed his own bloodline, the very legacy he had fought to protect. This act of violence was a point of no return, unraveling the last remnants of Ivan's sanity. By 1584, Ivan had become a shadow of the tyrant he once was, consumed by paranoia and mental instability. His health continued to fail him, but his mind was equally ravaged. Witnesses described him as a walking nightmare, plagued by mood swings and erratic behavior. He could no longer hide his madness. His once imposing presence was reduced to that of a decaying, unpredictable figure. His paranoia intensified, and he began seeing enemies everywhere. Despite his failing health, Ivan still held the power to destroy anyone who crossed him. His final months blurred the line between a ruler's calculated cruelty and a madman's desperate grasp at control. His reign had devolved into an unhinged terror. In his final years, Ivan unleashed his terror through the oprichnina, a personal police force that became a symbol of absolute fear in Russia. The oprichniki carried out brutal executions, torturing and killing anyone deemed disloyal. Ivan's reign had transformed from a monarchy into a nightmare, where even the smallest perceived threat led to violent reprisals. The psychological toll on the Russian people was immense. Ivan created an atmosphere where betrayal was inevitable, and paranoia ruled the court. His brutality went beyond physical violence. It became a tool for maintaining control. As Ivan's health worsened, the Oprichnina's reign of terror only escalated. The cruelty became more calculated, and his enemies had no choice but to live in constant fear. As Ivan's condition worsened, Boris Godunov, Ivan's brother-in-law, saw a chance to seize power. Ivan's obsession with securing an heir had led to a series of marriages, including a potential union with English noblewoman Mary Hastings. This marriage was seen as a direct threat to Godunov's ambitions, as it could produce an heir who would secure Ivan's dynasty. With Ivan's health rapidly deteriorating, Godunov knew this was his moment. His own rise to power depended on eliminating the threat Ivan posed. Was Ivan's death a natural consequence of his illness, or was it part of a calculated plot by Godunov and others who feared the consequences of Ivan's survival? The truth may never be fully known. March 18, 1584, marked the day Ivan's life came to a dramatic end. Despite his worsening health, Ivan seemed more lucid than he had been in weeks. He joked with courtiers and discussed his treasures, but soon after, he collapsed. Was it a stroke, as the official account claims, or was his death part of something more sinister? The timing of his death, following predictions by astrologers, raises serious questions. Was Ivan's demise orchestrated, or was it simply fate catching up with him? The transition of power to Boris Godunov occurred with chilling precision, suggesting that there was more to Ivan's death than what was reported. Was it truly a natural death, or something more strategic? Boris Godunov wasted no time in seizing control after Ivan's death. The transition was strikingly smooth, and Ivan's son Theodore was named Tsar, but it was clear that Theodore was mentally unfit to rule. Godunov, who had long been positioned as a potential ruler, stepped into the power vacuum left by Ivan's death. The swift handover raised questions. Was Ivan's death part of a larger conspiracy to eliminate him and consolidate power? Godunov's rapid ascent to the throne seemed almost too well planned, and it didn't take long before he effectively ruled through Theodore. The sudden calm following Ivan's death pointed to something far more calculated than a natural succession. Decades later, when Ivan's tomb was opened by Soviet scientists, the discovery was nothing short of shocking. His bones showed high mercury levels, much higher than normal for a person suffering from natural causes. Along with mercury, traces of arsenic were found, indicating deliberate poisoning. Ivan's body, ravaged by illness, was also marked by the effects of prolonged poisoning. This discovery raised even more questions about his death. Was Ivan slowly poisoned over time? Or was his death part of a more calculated assassination? The mystery deepened as scientists uncovered the secrets of his final days. What had truly led to Ivan's demise, and who was behind it? The unanswered questions about his death continue to haunt history. The death of Ivan the Terrible remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Did he die from a stroke? Or was he murdered in the most elaborate assassination in Russian history? The truth may never be fully known, but the questions raised by his death continue to intrigue us. If you want to dive deeper into the shadows of history, to uncover the secrets that lie buried beneath centuries of lies and deception, subscribe now. Don't miss out on uncovering the truth behind the most notorious figures in history. Click to explore more chilling tales that history tried to hide.